It was really weird, kind of, because I was talking to my wife about decisions to be made with my mom, who's in a bad way, and I'd really appreciate if you could pray for her. This is, I'm going to state the date here because, I'm going to leave this video up on YouTube for some time, and feel free to ask, how my mom's doing in the future, and ask whether you need to pray more for her because, maybe the Lord will have taken her by the time you see this video, but she's not doing well with her eating, and she's going to die. One of the troubles that come is that, her fluid levels go down, her strength drops. They has to be sent to the hospital and have her fluid levels intake be mechanically raised back up. So there's a lot of pressure on me as a healthcare proxy to make decisions of whether or not to put her on this thing that's called comfort care, which is basically like just sit back and watch her die. We'll keep her comfortable, but they even tell me, that she'll go no more naturally that way. No. God is in control over life and death. I was talking to my wife about the decision, the only decision that brings me comfort in all the stuff that I have to decide about my mom's care. And that is, God made me remember that Jesus said, "Let the dead bury their dead." Our God is the God of the living. We associate ourselves with life, and God has the keys over life and death. God will decide when my mom dies. If there's any, and by the way, don't write to me and correct me on this, because the Lord has given me a righteous indignation against those who would speak otherwise. Because there's folks who would, it's a long story, but just don't do that, okay? Because if the one thing's given me peace in all of the whole things that's happened with my mom, it's the decision that we fight for life, always. Doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter what quality of life that the world wants to associate with them. Society would have us to believe that people that are old, who have Alzheimer's, have no use for society, basically. And so many people have bought into that, it's unbelievable. But God has nothing to do with death. There shall none be defiled for the dead among his people. This came up right after I was talking to my wife. I said, it says somewhere in Scripture, it talks all about, not touching the dead things, staying clear of them. God made it clear to the children of Israel. And I knew I'd read something, because also in Leviticus 5, I've already read this. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of an unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. All right, and then here, Leviticus 22. Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. I saw it. Oh, please, dear Lord, so that this video doesn't end up taking really super long for folks, so they can hear more of your word. Let's find this here. I'm probably skittering right over it, and I don't even see it. Something about the dead here. Come on. Right there. And whoso touches anything that is unclean by the dead. There was another thing in 21. 21 also. And it really wouldn't hurt if I kind of somehow marked these things before I point them out, huh? Well, if you haven't yet watched 21, let this be an opportunity for you to do so and to keep your eye out for the mention of death. But God doesn't want us to have anything to do with death, because He is not the giver of death. He is the giver of life. But God does hold the keys and does turn away, and Satan does the dirty work. Here's something here that says, that which dieth of itself, or is torn with beasts, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. I am the Lord. Just got one more here. And I'm not going to make you hold out. I'm just going to... Okay, I can't find it. But if you haven't yet visited the reading of Leviticus chapter 21 or 22, please do so. Please.